Wow, welcome to Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers, and I'm just gonna tell you right now that this was one of the best games I've ever seen. Both teams came to play, but it was the superstars Connor McDavid for the Oilers and Matthew Tkachuk for the Panthers who raised their games to another level. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing, and the pace of the game was set right from puck drop. It only took the Oilers 15 seconds to earn a high-danger scoring chance, and if it weren't for Sergei BOBROVSKY's solid positioning, it would have been the third fastest goal to open a game in Stanley Cup Final history. And then just 30 seconds after that, the Panthers generated a chance of their own, but Stuart Skinner was able to stop Sam Reinhart from opening the scoring. We weren't even past the 1 minute mark yet, and it was already made clear that both goalies were locked in and ready to go, but it was Skinner who claimed the game's first highlight reel save. Look at this. I know there's a lot of Canucks fans rooting against the Oilers, and that's fine, but you can't tell me you don't love to see people proving their doubters wrong. Skinner got so much flack all year, and now he's in the Stanley Cup Final making saves like this? It's awesome. I'm happy for him. By the way, I just have to say, thanks to you, I'm officially one big step closer to being able to make this my full-time job, which really just means more content for you guys, because I'm starting to get offers from companies wanting to sponsor my videos, so when that eventually happens, I just want you to know that nothing is changing with the content or the reason why I make the content. It just means old Nuckhead might be able to afford some groceries from time to time, so just a heads up. Anyway, let's get back to the game. Kyle Okposo hit Brett Kulak, then Ryan Lomberg hit Brett Kulak, then Brett Kulak got called for high-sticking Ryan Lomberg, giving the Panthers an early opportunity to tally the game's first goal on the power play, but it couldn't have gone worse for them because for the second game in a row, they let the Oilers open the scoring short-handed, and again, it was the hard work of Connor Brown that made it happen. This is not meant to be a diss, but for the past 2 games, Connor Brown has looked more like Alexander Barkov than Alexander Barkov has. It's weird, I know. Also, what a move by Brown. 1-0 Oilers. Then, Barkov got called for cross-checking, but it wouldn't matter because shortly after, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was called for hooking, evening things up at 4-on-4. Zach Hyman attacked Anton Lundell, Leon Draisaitl crashed into Vladimir Tarasenko, Sam Bennett hit Dylan Holloway, Matthew Tkachuk hit Dylan Holloway, Lomberg iceberged Broberg. Then, Niko Mikkola got called for interference, giving the Oilers their first full power play of the game, and they scored. It was a Bush bomb bouncing off the knee of Hyman that did it. 2-0 Oilers. Oh, and then Connor McDavid scored. I know this doesn't look like a nice goal. In fact, it kind of looks like a bad one for Bobrovsky to let in, and while that may still be true, it was actually quite a big brain play by Connor. See, McDavid's got a plethora of highlight reel goals where he shoots high short side from that exact spot, and he knows that Bobrovsky knows that. So to fool him, McDavid kept his eyes high while he shot low, and Big Bob was so concerned with taking away the top of the net, he completely forgot about the bottom, and the puck just kind of slid under him. Connor made him look silly. 3-0 Oilers.
Do you guys think the Panthers are throwing this game so they can win in Edmonton?
Anyway, now that McDavid's left his imprint on the game, it was time for Matthew the Truck Tkachuk to do the same for his team. That's when he came flying out of nowhere, ready to take a big chunk out of Draisaitl, who was able to cushion the impending blow, but then, thanks to some great board work from Evan Rodrigues, Tkachuk was able to break in on a mini breakaway one-on-one with Skinner, and man did he snipe this one. Look at the placement of this shot. Absolutely beautiful. 3-1 Oilers. But then Okposo got called for hooking, putting Edmonton right back on the power play, and after playing with their food for a full minute and a half, this happened.
Establishes the zone. Nifty move through a double team.
Scores! What a brilliant piece of work. McDavid to Perry, and it's 4-1.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I had a mouthful of food when this happened, and it didn't end well. I barfed all over my legs and had to watch the remainder of the game naked from the bottom down, and it didn't take long for me to get kicked out of the restaurant. But seriously though, we're witnessing a level of greatness we haven't seen in this sport in quite some time. I'm honestly starting to consider the idea that it isn't McDavid or Crosby, it might actually be McDavid or Gretzky. And I'm a Canucks fan. I would love to hate this guy, but I just can't. He's too good. Here's what Corey Perry said after the game when he was asked what that goal looked like from his perspective.
I watched him go through 3 guys and pass it over me. I mean, I didn't even yell for it. He just saw me go in the net. That's just the type of player he is.
4-1 Oilers.
12 seconds later.
Montour, rebound, they score! Locked in by Evan Rodrigues.
Oh right, the Panthers scored 14 seconds later, 4-2 Oilers. Florida was pressing for another, but they couldn't beat Skinner, so they resorted to body checking him instead. Just kidding. This was obviously a dive by Skinner, and that's why Bennett wasn't called for interference. In fact, Skinner's lucky he didn't get called for embellishment here. McDavid was still flying around the ice showing no signs of fatigue. At this point, every time either McDavid or Tkachuk was on the ice, they made something happen. It truly was a battle of the superstars. Also, check out the nasty dangles by Luosterainen here. Dude's pretending to be Connor McDavid. Damn. Skinner made the save though. But then, down 2 goals in the third period, look who was back out there making a difference for his team. Matthew Tkachuk.
Tkachuk's alone. Bennett trying to get position out in front. Ekman-LARSSON scores!
I love hockey, man. This is so sick. Stanley crushed Ekholm, Tkachuk flattened Kulak, Ekblad sent Janmark flying, and then Dylan Holloway gave the puck up to the last person you'd want to give it to, Tkachuk, and to make up for his mistake, Holloway's knee-jerk reaction was to slow Tkachuk down by hooking him, which is, of course, a penalty. Except, in an attempt to make sure the penalty was called, Tkachuk took a page out of Skinner's book and dove to the ice like he had just been shot in the head, and he was called for embellishment, so whatever, it didn't matter. And then, check this out, cosplaying as Connor McDavid, Brett Kulak skated the puck all the way up the ice and sent a beautiful pass to a wide-open Nugent Hopkins, but oh my god, Bobrovsky was right there to make the game-saving save. What a game this is, are you kidding me? Holloway made Ekman-LARSSON do a backflip, but OEL didn't seem to mind. With under 5 minutes remaining, still down by 1 goal, the Panthers were throwing everything at the Oilers' net, but they just couldn't find a way to beat Skinner. So they pulled the goalie, called a timeout, and I could feel the tension in the building through the TV screen. It was nervously silent. And then the game ended in cinematic fashion. With under 30 seconds left, Zach Hyman dumped the puck down the ice toward the empty net, and right as it was about to cross the line, Matthew Tkachuk does one of the coolest damn things I've ever seen in a hockey game.
And it's swept away by Tkachuk!
This is the kind of play you dream about as a kid while playing road hockey or mini-sticks. I know I did. And it's a real shame that the net stayed on its moorings, keeping the play alive long enough for McDavid to pick up the puck and score anyway. But still, how poetic is that? It came down to McDavid and Tkachuk on an empty net. What a wild-ass game. The Oilers won 5-3 and God, this is why I wanted to go 7. The more hockey, the better. That was incredible. Anyway, thanks to these awesome knuckheads who chose to support the channel by clicking the join button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week actually, because I'm in the middle of moving and I won't have time to make a video. So if the Oilers manage to tie the series up, I'll be covering both games 6 and 7 in one video early next week. Also, I've got a new episode of the Nuckhead Podcast out, and it's featuring Connor from the well-known Vancouver-based YouTube channel Turning the Tables, so check that out. The link will be in the description. Okay, bye.
What would you give up for the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup this year?
I would give up cannabis.
That's a good answer.